Om. गणपतये नमः। ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारम् व्याप्तं येन चराचरम् तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ दुं दुर्गायै नमः। So, in the Prathama Charitra, we learned Mahakali as the deity who is none other than the mighty power, the force of cosmic energy. And it is the Tamasa Guna which is rooted in the physical world, the physical reality and delusion. And it is Mahakali which takes out that tamasic delusion which we all go through in this world. That is the toughest, and it is sthula, gross, that she takes away. In the next Madhyama Charitra, the deity is Mahalakshmi, who is the epitome of grace and who takes care of the balance of the cosmic energy. So she uses Rajoguna, Rajas. And that Rajas is very much rooted in the mental reality. That is, through the mind and the intellect and the wisdom, we live in that mental reality. So, to overcome that Rajoguna, it is Mahalakshmi who helps us. In this Madhyama Charitra, we will be studying how Devi tackled the whole Sainya, the army of Mahishasura, and Mahishasura himself, who is the epitome of the negative aspects of Rajoguna. So the battle happens between Devi and the army of Mahishasura in the second chapter. The Dhyana shloka for this is Akshasrat Parashukadeshu Kulisham Padmam Dhanu Kundikam Dandam Shaktimasim Cha Charma Jalajam Ghantam Surabhajanam Shulam Pasha Sudarshane Cha Dadhatim Haste Pravala Prabham Seve Sairibhamardini Miha Mahalakshmi Sarojashitam. Here, Dhyana Shloka is about I bow down, I surrender to that Mahalakshmi who is Akshasrak, that is the mala of Aksha. Akshamala she is holding. Parashu, the axe. Gadeishu, and also the mace. Kulisham, the thunderbolt. Padmam, the flower. Dhanu, the bow. Kundikam, that divine pot. Dandam, the staff. Shaktim, the spear. Asim, the sword. Charma, the shield. Jalajam, the conch, which is got from the water. Jalajam. It is a very unique expression for conch. Normally, Jalaja is for lotus. Here it is the Shankha, the conch. Ghantam, she's also holding the bell. Surabhajanam, the wine cup. Shulam, the spear. Pasha, the noose. Sudarshane, the chakra, Sudarshana chakra. Dadhatim, she's holding in her hasta. Pravala Prabha, she's of the hue of coral. That means she's filled with Rajoguna. Seve, I meditate, I pray. Pasha Sudarshane cha Dadatim Hastaihi Pravala Prabham Sairibha Mardinim Iha. One who killed Mahishasura. Sairabha is Mahisha, the buffalo. Mahalakshmi Sarojastitam, one who is on the lotus. So for her, the whole manifestation is that lotus. She's sitting on that. I resort to that Mahalakshmi. Om Hrim Rishiruacha Devasuramabhudyuddham Purnamabdashatam Pura Mahishe Suranamadipe Devanam cha Purandare. Pura, long back in ancient time, there occurred the Yuddha, the fight between Mahishe Surana Madhipe, Mahishasura as the leader or the king of all the Asuras, and Indra, Purandara, Indra as the leader or the king of all Devas. Tatra Surair Mahaviryaihi Devasainyam Parajitam Jitva cha Sakalam Devan Indro Bhon Mahishasura. In that battle, the army of Devatas were defeated by the asuras who won over these devas by making that Mahishasura as the leader. ततः पराजिता देवाः पद्मयोनिं प्रजापतिम् पुरस्कृत्य गतास्तत्र यत्रेष गरुडध्वजौ. Having been defeated, Parajita Devaha, all those devas who were defeated, making Padmayoni, that is Brahma, who is sitting on the lotus, who came from lotus of navel of Vishnu. So he is called Padmayoni. And he is also Prajapati. He is the father of all beings because he is the creator. Making him Puraskritya, making him the leader, keeping him in front, all devas went to Shiva, who is Isha, and Garuda Dhwaja, that is Vishnu. So they all went towards Vishnu and Shiva. Yatha vrittam tayostadvan Mahishasura-cheshtitam Tridasha katayamasuhu Devabhibhava vistaram. And all these devas describe, explain as it happened. Just like as they were defeated by these asuras, they narrated all the deeds of asuras during the battle and how they were defeated. They told the story in detail to Shiva and Vishnu. Surendragnyanilendunam yamasya varunasya cha anyesham chadhikaransa swayamevadhitishtati. This Mahishasura took away the authority from Surya, Indra, Agni, Vayu, Yama, Varuna, and all other gods as well. He took away the authority from them. Imagine, visualize that scenario. Swargan nirakritaah sarve tena devagana bhuvi vicharanti yatha martya mahishena duratmana. And all these devas, they were Swargat Nirakritya, they were thrown out of heaven. Not knowing where to go, they all came down to Martya Loka and they started roaming around just like the humans or just like the beings, you can say. Vicharanti yatha matya mahishena duratman. One who is defeated by that Mahisha who was Duratma. One who is evil, not only mind, evil minded, but he was evil soul. So that evil nature had imbibed so much into Mahishasura that he was nothing but the embodiment of evil. So all devas who were thrown out of Swarga landed in Martya Loka and they had to behave exactly like the beings who go through birth and death and birth and death. So what can we understand by this? In original state, a sadhaka or the devotee or every being is oriented towards the activated consciousness, which is divya, which is divine. Having been defeated by this Mahishasura means taking our delusion, taking over the whole being. That Mahishasura is none other than the evil forces, the evil characteristics, behavior, causing delusion, a person going away from that divine quality, which is being one with activated consciousness, which is nothing but Shiva Shakti, which is very much there within. So when we go away from it, naturally, we get into that asuric qualities or into that delusion. And naturally, we have to come down. So these devas coming down from Swarga to Matyaloka is nothing but entering into the body and mind consciousness. We become the soul which was one with consciousness is entering into the body consciousness and the mind consciousness, which is nothing but the representation as a human being. So because of this, now the real battle within starts happening in every being. A sadhaka or the devotee recognizes and realizes that the battle is going to take place within, between the delusion creating asuras as the traits, vasana, vritti, and thoughts, and the Devi as the pure consciousness is also they who are going to fight within the being. So what happens? एतद्भक्कथितं सर्वम् अमरारिविचेष्टितम् शरणं वः प्रपन्नास्मो वधस्तस्य विचिन्त्यताम्. O Shiva and Vishnu, they have told the whole narration of their bad deeds, the battle. Now we all have surrendered to both of you, Shiva and Vishnu. Please take the responsibility of thinking the mode, the way, the plan of rooting out these asuras. Sharanam Vaha, we have surrendered to you. Prapannaha, we also seek your Sharanagati. Vadhastasya vichintyatam. So both of you should think and plan out how we can go ahead to destroy these asuras. So this shows devas are the power of illumination, the light. Asuras are of the nature of darkness, and both of them, devas and asuras, suras and asuras, both of them have influence on we human beings. And all these devas are taking care of the whole body and mind by influencing in the positive way with positive rajoguna. Like the Surya is taking care of the eyes, Varuna takes care of the tongue as well as the speech, Agni takes care of the speech, and Vayu, the skin. Yama, the anus, Chandra, the mind. So, like this, each devata is taking care of every part of our body and mind. Suppose they are gripped, eclipsed by these Mahishasura and his army. How can a human being be healthy mentally and physically? So, one has to be aware of this fact. And secondly, all devas went to Brahma first because Brahma, coming from the navel of Vishnu, is nothing but blossoming of consciousness. How? Why? Nabhi is Manipura Chakra, and that is the place from where one can move upward towards the knowledge, or one can go low to lead the animalistic life. So, Manipura Chakra is the middle one, which bridges both lower world and the upper world. So, they are all taking the help of that Brahma who is the blossoming of the consciousness, and they are approaching Vishnu and Shiva, who are Prana Shakti and Jnana Shakti of every being. So, Itham Nishamya Devana Vachamsi Madhusudanah Chakara Kopam Shambhuscha Bhrukuti Kutilananau. Listening to this story told by all the devas, Chakrino, that is Vishnu, Vadanat Tatha Nishchakrama Mahatteju. From his face, from Vishnu's face, there emerged such radiant light of anger. And Brahmana Shankarasya cha, even from the faces of Brahma and Shiva. Very bright light started emitting from their faces with so much of anger. Tatoti kopapurnasya chakrino vadanat tata nishchakrama mahattejo brahmana shankarasya cha. So after this, what happened? Anyesham chaiva devanam shakradinam shariratah nirgatam sumahattejah tachaikyam samagachhata. Even from all other gods, from their sharira, from the whole body, the tejas of anger, it just flashed out. And they all got together. All the light beams, the bright light, which were emitted by Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, and all other gods, got together and became one ball of intense light, radiance, blazing brightness. You can well imagine. Ativa tejasah kutam ज्वलन्तमिव पर्वतम् ददृशुस्ते सुरास्तत्र ज्वालाव्याप्तदिगन्तरम्. अतीव तेजस, exceedingly bright, brilliant, blazing light, putam, that the heap, it became like a parvata. It started growing like jwalantam. It was burning like a big mountain. So what is it? The mountain of the light, bright light. And also all the devas saw that light not only being like a parvata, but it started occupying all directions. See the way it is expanding, that light. All directions means it is not limited. Direction is not limited. That means the whole manifestation, the whole, all directions were occupied by this light. So this is not exaggeration. It's not exaggeration. When we go into deep meditation, even the sadhaka can feel it. How it starts expanding and growing and growing and growing, that never endingly it keeps expanding. So like that, this light is becoming so radiant. Atulam tatra tattejah sarvadeva sharirajam ekastham tadabhunnari vyaptalokatrayam tvisha. And that unique, very, very bright, unique light which had covered all the directions gradually started taking the shape, a form as a beautiful woman. Tat abhut nari. That light became a lady. It took that form. Vyapta lokatrayam. And that radiant, lustrous Tvisha, that light, it occupied Vyapta. It pervaded all the three lokas. So it became just that prominent, bright light as beautiful lady. It is Divya. It is Devi. So imagine the height and magnitude of that brilliance, brightness. Yadbhuchambhavam tejah tena jayata tanmukham yam yena chabhavan kesha bahavo vishnu tejasa. So, and they are also able to see it is one ball of radiant blazing light, and slowly it is taking the form as a beautiful lady. On top of it, all devas saw how that beautiful form is created by giving the light of different devatas different ways, and each part of that form was recognizable. How yadabhut chambhavam tejah tena jayata tanmukham. From Shiva's blazing energy light, the face of that woman was formed. Yam yena jabhavan yesha. By the light of Yama, the hair came or it was projected. Bahavo Vishnu Tejasa. And from the light, the beam of Vishnu's light created her arms. So here itself we can see. It was told in the previous two mantras that the light of anger from the face of Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu, and all the devas were emitted. How can that anger light can give rise to the beautiful woman form? What is it? We can understand all these devatas, their anger is not out of feeling the anger as an emotion. We human beings, we become the victims of the emotion, anger, and we express it. So it is negative. Whereas devatas used that anger as the weapon. They were not victims of the anger, but they projected it as weapon. So it was not negative, but it was positive anger. It was assumed for a purpose. It was assumed. So it had that capacity and power in it to create such beautiful form of a nari, a woman. सौम्येन स्तनयोर्युग्मम् मध्यं चैन्द्रेण चाभवत् वारुणेन च जङ्घोरु नितम्बस्तेजसा भुवः. Saumyena, that is Chandra. From Chandra's light, the two breasts appeared. Madhyam, that is the waist, appeared from the light of Indra. Varunena cha Janghoru, from Varuna, the light which came created her shanks, the thighs. Nitambas tejasa bhuvaha, and even earth emitted the light which gave rise to the hips of that beautiful form of Devi. Brahmanastejasa padau tadangulyorkatejasa vasunam chakaraangulyah kauberena chanasika. Brahmanastejasa padau. From the light of Brahma, the feet were created. And then the toes, Anguli, were created by Arka Tejasa. Arka is the sun. From the brilliant light of Surya, the toes were created. Vasunam cha Karangulyah. The fingers were created by the Vasu, Ashtavasus. From Kubera, Nasika, that is the nose, was created. Tasyastu dantha sambhutaah प्राजापत्येन तेजसा नयनत्रितयं जज्ञे तथा पावक तेजसा. And her teeth were created by the light of Prajapati. And all the three eyes were created by the light emitted from Agni. Bhruvau cha sandhyayostejah Shravanavanilesya cha Anyesham chaiva devanam Sambhavastejasam Shiva. Shiva, one who is auspicious Devi. Shiva was created. How? Tasyastu danta bhruvau cha sandhya. Through the tejas of Sandhya, her eyebrows were created. And then the ears were created by Vayu. Anyesham chaina devanam. And all other devas too contributed for the formation of that beautiful woman who is none other than Shiva, who is Maa Durga, Maa Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi. ततः समस्तदेवानां तेजो राशि समुद्भवाम् तां विलोक्य मुदं प्रापुः अमरा महिषादिता ततो देवा ददुस्तस्यै स्वानि स्वान्यायुधानि च. And then this Tejo Rashi, the heap of Tejas, the radiance, the light, which produced this Devi Shiva, looking at her, even just looking at her, they all became so happy, energized, and with great joy, they all sang. Prapuhu Amara Mahishardita, and who were oppressed by this Mahisha. All these devas, all these time, they were all oppressed by Mahisha as the leader of the Asuras, and they were really feeling down. But the minute they saw this radiant Shiva Devi, they all became so happy, joyous. And also they gave different ayudhas, weapons, along with their own weapons. How did they give it? It's beautifully described. Shulam Shuladvinishkrishya Dadau Tasyai Pinakadhrike Chakram Cha Dattavan Krishnaha Samutpatya Swachakratah. Shulam Shuladvinishkrishya, drawing out that Shula from his own Shula, that Pinakadhari, that is Shiva, presented her Shula. That means what? Shiva drew the power of that Shula from his own Shula and gave her that Ayudha as Shula. In the same way, Chakram cha dattavan Krishna, that is Vishnu. He gave her chakra. How? By drawing the power and created the chakra and gave it to her. Samutpatya Swachakratah, from his own Sudarshana chakra, he drew the chakra and gave it to her. Shankham cha Varuna Shaktim Dadau tasyai hutashanah Maruto dattavamschapam Banapurne tatheshudhi. Shankham cha Varuna, and Varuna gave her the conch. Shakti, that is the spear, was given by Hutashana, that is Agni. Maruta, the Vayu, gave her the bow. Banapurne tatheshudhi, and also two quivers, the holders of the arrows. That also he gave, filled with arrows. Banapurna, not the quivers, filled with arrows. Vajramindha samutpatya Pulishaadamarādhipah Dadau tasyai sahasraksho Ghantamairavataad gajat. Indra gave her that Pulisha, that is thunderbolt, by drawing from his own thunderbolt weapon. That means it is very much the replica of the original weapons which all these devatas are gifting her. Dadau tasyai sahasraksha. Sahasraksha is Indra, who has 1,000 eyes. Let me tell you why his Sahasraksha. Indra is the adhipati of all the sense organs. And he's working through all the sense organs. That means all the body, the whole body and the mind is under his control. And we are doing so many things through different senses in different ways. So each organ is like eye. And he is that Indra. He gave her the bell from that Airavata, his own elephant. Because Airavata was wearing that ghanta, the bell, it has that loudest sound which can be heard to such an extent that some of the asuras were not able to withstand that sound. And they used to die because of that sound. The vibration of that ghanta. That kind of ghanta, Indra gifted her. Kaladandadhyamo dandam Pasham chambupatir Prajapatischakshamalam Dadau Brahma Kamandalum. Kaladanda. Kaladanda is that staff which Yama holds. So from that Kaladanda, Yama, drawing the power, he gave her the staff. Pasham Chambupati. Ambupati is again Varuna. So Varuna was not satisfied with his first gift. He is giving the second gift, which is the noose to Devi, Shiva. Prajapati, again, he gave Akshamala for her. Akshamala is nothing but the different qualities and the factors which are needed for the ongoing of the world. All those things are in the mala form so that it keeps moving. Unless all those factors are moving, the Vishwa will not run. It has to be Jagat, constantly moving. That Akshamala he has given. Brahma gave her the Kamandali. Samastaroma Kupeshu निजरश्मिन् दिवाकरः कालश्च दत्तवान् खड्गम् तस्यै चर्म च निर्मलम्. Surya, Divakara is Surya. He bestowed his own rays into the every pores of her body. He filled every pore of her body. So imagine how radiant the Devi would be. Kalascha dattavan khadgam, and Yama, Kala, gave her khadga, and also the shield. Charma means the shield, which was nirmala, which was spotless. That means it was shining and it was powerful without any fault in it. How auspicious and rejuvenating this Shiva is. And what a beautiful name they have given to that Tejomaya Divya Devi as Shiva. Beautiful. क्षीरोदश्चामलं हारम् अजरे च तथाम्बरे चूडामणिं तथा दिव्यं कुण्डले कटकानि च. Now they are giving different jewels as well. Kshirodah, that is the milky ocean, gave her amalam haram, pure garland. Ajareche tathambare. Ambara is the cloth or the garment, which is ajare, which will never become decayed or old. It will be ever fresh, ever new cloth or the garment. Chudamani, the crest jewel. Chudamani, the final jewel. Tatha divyam kundalam, the very bright earrings, ear studs. Katakanicha, the bracelets as well. Ardhachandram tatha shubhram केयूरान् सर्वबाहुषु नूपुरौ विमलौ तद्वत् ग्रैवेयकमनुत्तमम्. Anuttamam. There is no comparison. The most beautiful. Graiveya, that is the necklace which goes very close to the neck. That was given by this Kshira Samudra along with Ardhachandra, which was bright, Shubhra, pure white. Keyuran Sarvabahushu. Sarvabahushu means in all her arms. That means she is having different arms, many arms. For all, he gave the Keyura. It is another kind of jewel which they wear it on the arms. Nupurau Vimalau. The shiny anklets were also given along with the necklace, which were uncomparable. Anguliyakaratnani samasta swangulishu cha Vishwakarma dadau tasyai parashum chati nirmalam. For all her fingers, Anguli, the gem-studded rings were given by Vishwakarma. Not only that, He also gave her parashu, the axe, which were ati nirmalam, which were really bright and shining. So even these weapons are kept always very shining and clean and pure. So he gave such axe and other weapons. अस्त्राण्यनेकरूपाणि तथा भेद्यं च दंशनम् अम्लानपङ्कजां मालां शिरस्युरसि चापराम्. He also presented her with astra and shastra, different weapons. Tatha bhedyam cha damshanam, and he also gave untearing, which can never be destroyed, that kind of armor. Damshana is that armor. Amlana pankajam malam, and he gave two malas that made out of pankaja, which will never fade out. It will be always fresh, fragrant, and giving her the beauty. One for her head, that is for her hair, you can take it. Another one for the urasi, that means the long garland, which was hanging on her thighs all the way down. अददज्जलाधिस्तस्यै पङ्कजं चात्पिशोभनाम् हिमवान् वाहनं सिंहं रत्नानि विविधानि च. Ocean. What did he give? The king of ocean. Lotus, beautiful lotus flowers, which were Atishobhan, which were really beautiful. Himavan gave her Simha as the vehicle, and also the gems of different kinds, various gems he gave her. Dadava shunyam suraya panapatram dhanadhipah sheshascha sarvanagesho mahamani vibhushitam. Dadau ashunyam suraya panapatram. Panapatra is that wine cup which is filled with sura, with the wine. Ashunya means not even leaving even little space. It was filled with full sura. That surapana patra, she was gifted by Kubera, Dhanadhipa. Kubera gave her that. And then Sheshanaga, who is the king of all the Naga, Sarva Nagesha. And who is he? Mahamani Vibhushita. He himself is studded with that gem, Chudamani. That Sheshanaga, what did he give her? Nagaharam dadau tasyai datteya prithvimimam anyairapi suraidevi bhushanairavayudhaistatha. This Sheshanaga who bears the whole earth, Dhatteya Prithvim Imam. This earth he holds. That Naga gave her Nagahara, the snake, as the garland. And all other Anyairapi Suraihi, all other devas gave other different various kinds of jewels and also the ayudhas. So now you can imagine how Shiva, the Devi, auspicious Devi, was created through the divine light of all Devas and the Trimurtis. And she was also given the weapons, that too, not second level ayudhas. All the Devatas drew out the power and created the replica of their own ayudhas and gifted it to him. So, how can we apply this to our own selves? Even though the words say they all gifted it to her, gifted it. It is not the external thing which they all gave. They gave all these powers because of that auspiciousness which she was carrying within, being the collected power of all these devatas. She was emitting all those things as jewels on her. And she had the power of a sword, power of bow and arrow, power of the sword, spear. She had the power of different ayudhas, mace, which are useful in different ways. So even in sadhaka, the devotee, when we surrender totally to Maa Durga, all these qualities emerge from within. To a true devotee and a true seeker who has surrendered to Maa Durga, he will be emitting such radiance that itself gives so much of beauty, like as though the devotee is ornamented. He will have so much of power in him, as though he has so many weapons with him. Shastra, Astra, there is difference. Shastra is the physical material weapon which is made out of metal. Shastra. Astra is a very unique, powerful, magical weapon which comes in the form of vibration, thought, and mantra. They are called astra. So, this sadhaka, the devotee, will know what to use when from within. That power one gets as the devotee who has surrendered himself to Durga, who is in the conscious form within. So it's a beautiful representation of what is going on within and brought out. So that Shiva is none other than the true devotee, the seeker, who is Shiva because of his oneness with Durga. सम्मानिता ननादोच्चैः साट्टहासं मुहुर्मुहुः तस्यानादेन घोरेण कृत्स्नमापूरितं नभः. See, when a person or any being be it devatas or the human being. When the intention is positive, the whole nature, the whole manifestation, all devatas, rishis, everyone comes to help and give their ashirvada. So everyone is so enthusiastically giving their power, giving their ayudhas, giving different jewels, means they all unite around that Shiva, the conscious form, which is very auspicious, Shiva. So what is she doing? Shiva. Sammanita nanadauchaihi. Sattahasam muhur muhur. Again and again, that goddess is laughing loudly with such a roar that tasyanadena ghorena, with a roaring loudness, she's giving that attahasa without any hold. She's laughing so loudly that it is kritsnam apuritam nabha. It filled the whole nabha, the whole sky. The sound, the sky. That means she was emitting such laughter after being gifted with all these things by devatas, none other than all devatas and trimurtis. What is this laughter? Why is it so loud that it is filling the whole nabha? It is the combination of ananda, which is oozing from within in that Shiva, the energy, and also that expansiveness which she is feeling. Not only that, in a way, she is also telling, I'm the one who is the whole manifestation. The whole manifestation is my own body. Do I need the support, the help of anyone? Because everything is within me. Are you understanding? The devatas are within that manifestation. All the jewels are within that manifestation. Even the ayudhas are within the manifestation. Even the energy of different kinds are also within the manifestation. And she is the whole manifestation. So she's laughing at the same time she's saying, okay, I will accept whatever you people have gifted me, but everything is within me only. Like that, she's laughing so loudly. So even Shiva did the same when he did Tripura Dahana. There is a story which says just by his laughter, he was able to kill all the three Puras of the Asuras. So this laughter is very, very meaningful, very meaningful. It was not out of sarcasm or anything, much deeper and the reality. Amayatati mahata pratishabdho mahanabhut chukshubhuk sakala lokah samudrashcha kampire. And this immeasurable amayata, ati mahata, too loud, exceedingly loud, shabda became echoed. Prati shabda, it echoed again and again as she was loudly laughing, Mahanabhu, and it became so louder and louder with echo effect as well. It is such a beautiful expression, and which is a fact also. When we go near the open space and in front of a parvata, even a small um, voice can echo again and again. If it is louder, all the more it becomes louder as it is echoed, and it lingers for a very long time. And that created Chukshubhu, Sakala Loka. All the lokas started shaking because of that sound. And Samudra also started trembling. Kampire. It started trembling. So, this is also like the eureka moment in a seeker or in a devotee when the mind, the anthakarana, the body aligns with that consciousness within. So it is the moment of revelation. At that moment, the whole body, the mind, everything shakes and trembles. So that is said in cosmic ray, which even individual goes through when that revelation takes place, when it really happens. At that moment, so many things happen. Chachala vasudha cheluhu सकलाश्च महीधराः जयेति देवाश्च मुदा तामूचुः सिंहवाहिनी चचाल वसुधा चेलुः. The earth quaked. There was so much of earthquake. And Mahidharaha, the mountains, started moving. Chachala started moving. And all the devas, with so much of joy, started shouting, Jaya, 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 hail to thee, to that Simhavahini who was sitting on Simha. Tushtuvur munayaschainam bhaktinamratmamurtayah drishtva samastam samshuddham trailokyamamararayah. The sages who are also present, they all with so much of devotion, they bend down. Namram Murtihi. With bent down body, they praised her. And looking at all these lokas being shaken, Trilokyam Amararayah. Ari is Shatru. Amara Ari is the Asuras, who are the enemies of Devas, Amaras. What happened? They all looked at this agitation happening in all the three lokas. Sannadha kila sainyaste samuddhasturudayudahar akimetaditi krodhat abhashya mahishasuraha. Looking at all these things happening with so much of agitation, Mahishasura made all his army come together. He collected all the armies and took up his weapons and got up and said, what is this happening? He could not understand. What is this happening? From where is this sound coming? Abhyadhavat tam shabdam asheshairasur असुरैर्वृतः सददर्श ततो देवीं व्याप्तलोकत्रयां त्विषा. And they all ran. Abhyadavata, they all rushed, ran towards that sound. And this Mahishasura, who was surrounded by his own army, they all rushed towards that sound where it was coming. And there they saw this Tvisha, the great bright light, Vyapya Lokatrayam, covering all the three worlds. They all saw, these asuras saw that. Padakrantya nata bhuvam kiritollikhitambaram kshobhita shesha patalam dhanurjaniswanena tam. They also looked at the earth going down and her feet are on the earth, as though Devi, Bhudevi is going down to this Shiva. So it is established Devi's feet are on the earth. And where is her head? Her kirita was piercing through, scratching the sky. Kirito likita ambaram. And then Kshobhita Shesha Patalam. Patala was shaking, trembling by the sound of her twang of the dhanu, the bow. The sound of that bow made that Patala tremble, shake. Disho bhuja sahasrena samantadvyapya samsthitam ततः प्रववृत्ते युद्धं तया देव्या सुरद्विषाम्. Disho bhuja sahasrena. She, not only her light or radiance covered the three, all the lokas, all her bhujas, the arms, also occupied all the directions and all the lokas. And then the yuddha took place between Devi. Till now she was called Shiva. That Devi and the Asuras, the army of Asuras, there was a great yuddha. So this is how it should be happening within us also. We should make that Sainya of Devi stronger and stronger and stronger. Then we can tackle the Asuras within. Now let us see how the Asuras got ready with their army. And I will read the shlokas and then the meaning so that you will get the vision of what is happening in that battlefield in one go. If I split it shloka by shloka, it will not have the same impact or understanding of that magnitude. शस्त्रास्त्रैर्बहुधा मुक्तैः आदीपितदिगन्तरम् महिषासुरसेनानी चिक्षुराख्यो महासुरः युयुधे चामरश्चान्यैः चतुरङ्गबलान्वितः रथानामयुधैः षड्भिः उदग्राख्यो महासुरः अयुध्यतायुतानां च सहस्रेण महाहनुः पञ्चाशद्भिश्च नियुतैः असिलोमा महासुरः अयुतानां शतैः षड्भिः बाष्कलो युयुधे रणे गजवाजिसहस्रौघैः अनेकैः परिवारितः वृतो रथानां कोट्या च युद्धे तस्मिन् युध्यत बिडालाख्यो युतानां च पञ्चाशद्भिरथायुतैः युयुधे संयुगे तत्र रथानां परिवारितः अन्ये च तत्रायुतशो रथनागहयैर्वृताः युयुधुः संयुगे देव्या सह तत्र महासुराः कोटिकोटिसहस्रैस्तु रथानां दन्तिनां तथा हयानां च वृतो युद्धे तत्र भून्महिषासुरः तोमरैर्भिन्दिपालैश्च शक्तिभिर्मुसलैस्तथा युयुधुः संयुगे देव्या खड्गैः परशुपट्टिशैः केचिच्च चिक्षिपुः शक्तिः केचित् पाशांस्तथा परे. All the directions were lit by the weapons and arms hurled abundantly. The great demon Chikshura, the general of Mahishasura, fought. The demon Chamara, along with other demons, accompanied by 4 divisions, fought. The great demon Udagra fought with 6 myriads of chariots. Mahahanu fought with 1,000 types of chariots. And the great demon Asiloma with 50 million. Bhaskala fought with 600 myriad of chariots. Parivarita fought with so many soldiers with thousands of horses, elephants, and surrounded by crores of chariots. Bidala with 500 chariots fought the battle, and other great demons in myriads of chariots, elephants, horses fought in the battle with Devi. Then Mahishasura appeared in the battle, surrounded by thousands and crores of chariots, elephants, and horses. They fought with Devi with iron maces and spears, clubs, swords, axes, halberds. Some hurled spears, while some others hurled nooses. Devīm khadgapraharaistu te tam hantum prachakramuh sapi devi tadastani shastrāṇyastrāṇi chandika. Those asuras, by hurling different weapons and blowing her with swords, they attempted to kill Devi. However, Devi too pieced all these different weapons of asuras into pieces, and thus she is Chandika. So now on, she is known as Chandika. Leelayaiva prachicheda nija shastrastra varshini Anayasthanana Devi Stoyamana Surashibhi. As if she is playing a sport. Leela. Leelayaiva Prachicheda. She shot. She used her arrows and other weapons, and she destroyed all the astras of the army of the Mahishasura with such ease, as though it is a play for her. And looking at her, Anayasa Anana, looking at her tireless face, all these devas started praying her with so much of joy. मुमोचासुरदेहेषु शस्त्राण्यस्त्राणि चेश्वरी सोऽपि क्रुद्धो धृतसटो देव्या वाहनकेसरी चचारासुरसैन्येषु वनेष्विव हुताशनः निःश्वासान् मुमुचेयांश्च युध्यमानारणेऽम्बिका तयेव सद्यः सम्भूता गणाः शतसहस्रशः युयुधुस्ते परशुभिः बिन्दिपालासि पट्टिशैः नाशयन्तो सुरगणान् देवी शक्त्युपबृंहिताः अवादयन्त पटहान् गणाः शङ्खांस्तथा परे मृदङ्गाश्च तथैवान्ये तस्मिन् युद्धमहोत्सवे ततो देवी त्रिशूलेन गदया शक्तिवृष्टिभिः खड्गादिभिश्च शतशो निजघान महासुरान् पातयामास चैवान्यान् घण्टास्वनविमोहितान्. And Devi hurled her weapons and arms at the bodies of the demons. The lion, her vehicle too, being enraged with its mane erect, stalked among the soldiers of Asuras like the fire in the forest. So imagine that vehicle lion roaming around amidst the army of Asuras like the forest fire. The breaths which Ambika breathed during this fight produced instantly the troops of Ganas in hundreds of thousands, being energized by the energy of Devi. They fought with axes and with javelins, swords, and halberds, destroying the groups of demons. Some groups beat drums and others blew conches. Others played mridanga in the festival of battle. Observe, in the festival of battle. When they have drew the energy of Devi, naturally, even the army of Devi are also playfully handling the situation, facing the Asuras with ease because of Devi's energy being passed on to them as well. Then Devi killed hundreds of Asuras with trident, club, hurling spears with swords and others. Some others were killed by bewitching sound of loud bell. Asuran bhuvi pashena badva chanyana karshayate केचिद्विधा कृतास्तीक्ष्णैः खड्गपातैस्तथा परे विपोत्थिता निपातेन गदया भुवि शेरते वेमुश्च केचिद्रुधिरम् मुसलेन भृशं हुताः केचिन्निपतिता भूमौ भिन्ना शूलेन वक्षसि निरन्तरः शरौघ्येण कृता केचिद्रणाजिरे श्येनानुकारिणः प्राणान् मुमुचुस्त्रिदशार्दनाः केषाञ्चित् बाहवश्छिन्नाः छिन्नग्रीवास्तथा परे शिरांसि पेतुरन्येषाम् अन्ये मध्ये विदारिताः विच्छिन्नजङ्घास्त्वपरे पेतुरुर्व्यां महासुराः एकबाह्वक्षिचरणाः केचिद्देव्या द्विधा कृताः छिन्नेऽपि चान्ये शिरसि पातिताः पुनरुत्थिताः कबन्धायुयुधुर्देव्या गृहीतपरमायुधाः ननृतुश्चापरे तत्र युद्धे तुर्यलयाश्रिताः कबन्धाश्छिन्नशिरसः खड्गशक्त्युष्टिपाणयः तिष्ठ तिष्ठेति भाषन्तो देवी मन्ये महासुराः. Some other demons were dragged to the ground by binding them with noose. Some others were cut into pieces by the severe slashes of swords. Some were laid down on the ground by the blows of mace. Some others, being severely beaten with the club, started vomiting the blood. Some fell down on the ground, being pierced at the chest by the trident. Some lost their middle part of their bodies by the shower of arrows. Having followed the army, tyrants of Devas lost their lives. Arms of some were cut off, and the necks of others were severed. The heads of other demons fell down. Having seen his army being slain, others were pierced in the middle, and the other great demons fell down on earth with legs cut off. Some were severed by Devi into two parts, with one arm, one eye, and one foot being lost. Some others were being cut off at the head too, fell down, and rose up again. The headless corpses, having taken up fierce weapons in their hands, fought with Devis. Observe the headless corpses, with the weapon in their hands, started fighting with Devi. Some other demons began to dance in the battlefield in consonance with the rhythm of the musical instruments. Other great demons, reduced to corpses, being cut off from the heads, still holding the swords, spears, lances in their hands, spoke to Devi, Tishtha, Tishtha. So, when we look at this, when we visualize this battlefield, it's so many things happening. And the way Asuras, even though they have become lame, without the head, without the eye, without the arms, without the legs, losing their limbs, losing their neck, being almost the corpse, Again and again, they are getting up, trying to fight with Devi. What does it say? How can we understand this? This is very much what we go through in our life. We are going through in our life, like these lame asuras, still fighting for their desires to be accomplished, for their life. Even we are doing the same thing. If we lose one kind of energy, we come up with some other kind of energy and try to fight out the situation, life, or accomplishing our desire, whatever we want. Everything is happening in delusion, isn't it? When a person loses the eyes, all other senses become very strong and they use it to lead their life, to accomplish their desires. And what may happen, we don't give up the hope. Someday it will become okay. Let me fight through. So these things are in positive way, even though it is in delusion. We are carrying on the life. Even if I fall down, I try to get up. But when it becomes towards the negative side, then also we make the same mistake. We are going in the wrong path. We fall down. Yet we hang on to the same path, thinking that by this way, maybe I can proceed further. By this way, method, or by this plan, I can go in the same direction. Just think, we all would have gone through these type of situations in our lives. However, we should understand that it is the trick of Maya to pin us in this deluded state, to lead our life in this illusory world. If we are not deluded, there won't be any beings to carry on the world which we are going through. So it is the trick of Mahamaya, which she is using on all the beings to be deluded in one way or the other. And we carry on like these asuras. We fall in one way, but with the energy of another thing, with the help of the another energy, we try to get up again and fight. We don't like to lose and sit back. We fight, fight, fight. So these are the gunas of asuras who are totally deluded. So to come out of this delusion, what should we do? Because we don't know the ways of survival of these asuras, how they work, we don't know. And also their way of fighting, also we don't know. Because it is the Mahamaya who has given us this kind of mindset to feel that I am the body, I am the mind, I have to carry on my life in this way according to my desires, my wishes. We have to surrender to that same Mahamaya, so that it is that Mahamaya who is Shiva, Chandika. She knows. Once I surrender to her totally, she, who is very much sitting within us, will say, okay, I will take you out from the grip of these asuras, and I will liberate you from the grip of these asuras who are in the form of delusion, creating avarana, vikshepa within, so that we are projecting the illusory world and living every day. And we are trying to adjust ourselves and try to see how I can push myself forward. So from that, she liberates us if we totally surrender to her, because she is on the side of dharma, the truth, the eternal dharma. So once we surrender to her, she will see that we are also following that eternal dharma and that eternal truth, and thus we will be liberated. That is the sukshma artha of this whole battle which they are describing in Durga Saptashati. पातितैरथनागश्वैः असुरैश्च वसुन्धरा अगम्या सा भवत्तत्र यत्राभूत्समहारणः शोणितौघा महानद्यः सद्यस्तत्र प्रसुस्रुवुः मध्ये चासुरसैन्यस्य वारुणासुरवाजिना क्षणेन तन्महासैन्यम् असुराणां तथाम्बिका निन्ये क्षयं यथा वह्निः तृणदारुमहाचयम् स च सिंहो महानादम् उत्सृजन् दुतकेसरः शरीरेभ्यो मरारीणाम् असोनिव विचिन्वते देव्या गणैश्च तैस्तत्र कृतं युद्धं तथा सुरैः यथैषां तुतुषुर्देवाः पुष्पवृष्टिमुचो दिवि. The earth was rendered inaccessible with the falling of chariots, elephants, horses, and demons in the great battlefield. At once there flowed the large rivers of blood, flowed through the armies of demons, oozed out from the dead elephants, demons, and horses. Devi Ambika reduced the mighty army of the demons to destruction within a moment, just like the fire consumes the plants and the trees. Devi's lion roared deeply with shaking its mane, as if plucked off the lives from the bodies of the enemies of Devas. Therein took the battle between the troops of Devi and Asuras, in which the gods in the heaven were pleased with them and showered flowers. So this shows, if we pause and see why and how they have described such ghastly battle which happened between Devi and these asuras. Why? When the negative traits enter the individual, the mind, heart, and the buddhi should exert so much of force to tackle these asuras. It is not easy. The fight is not easy. for the positive energy, positive Rajoguna, to put down the negative energy and the negative Rajoguna, which is there within. Both are there. But if we leave the negative energy, which will be in the form of vasana, the traits, the thoughts, our action, vritti, if we leave it to grow within, it becomes like asuras. And even to come out of that, at once it is not possible. Firstly, to fulfill those vasanas, which are nothing but the negative desires, which have built in its uh, impression so strongly that we had to take so many births to fulfill those negative vasanas. And when we have taken the birth like that, with so much of negative energy in us, negative vasana, working on us so constantly, we become like those asuras. Somehow or the other, I have to get it. I have to do it. I have to make this happen. So they become very, very strong when they're going through this stage in their spiritual growth. Everyone, every being has taken so many births. Firstly, to put down all the negative vasanas, rooting out. Because of that, the next janmas would be to increase the positive energy or the positive Rajoguna. That we will be experiencing as the devotees of Devi or Shiva Shakti of that consciousness. That is when we become like the lion, which is the vehicle of Devi. We become the vehicle of Devi, carrying the full positive energies of Devi and helping her to cleanse the whole being from all the negative asuric qualities away from us. So, the faster we become that lion, that is starting the sadhana, to do the upasana, being close to Devi, Shiva, Chandika, Maa Durga, Mahalakshmi, upasana, having them very closely in touch with them, who are very much within. That is when we become the vehicle of the Devi so that she can work through us in this cosmos. And she takes care of us. And that is how this second chapter finishes with Devi putting down, rooting out the Sainya of Mahishasura. Therein took the battle between the troops of Devi and Asuras, in which the gods in the heaven were pleased with them and showered the flowers on Devi. So this battle is nothing but a stern warning for us to mend our traits, our thoughts, our desires, our karma. The mind says, yes, come out of the bad habits. But is it that easy? if that bad habit has become very strong for a very long time, or if we have carried it from previous janmas as well, it's very difficult to take out of our system. It becomes stronger and stronger day by day. So the fight to root them out, those bad habits, is very difficult when it is asuric, when it has grown as demons, evil. So it's a stern warning for us. Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti. 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 Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti.